Sorry about that, guys. Took a couple extra seconds. We're back. And if you could invite me, madam, thank you.
Okay.
He has given me his PayPal. I need to go copy that before I forget. Because I have fallen behind paying people more recently. I'm going to make sure to do it right away after the stream. Oh, you already did it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Amazing.
Yeah, normally we pay people like the second tournaments are done, but lately we've been having some late payments from people like Blizzard, for example. Very respectable. We know they're going to pay us, but there's just like a delay on the map contest tournament, for example, right? And with these little delays, it's kind of made me forget about some of the other ones. So we're finally all caught up in Corsair Cups, I believe. I think KeeN's the only player who's missing a payment because he changed his payment method or something, or I don't know, but yeah.
Okay. Well, in the Ruins of Endion, that's the first default map. TvP.
Yeah, and actually, interesting question coming in from Twitter from Kids Forever. I'm not sure if he's listening to the stream right now or not, but asking if we have an Amazon affiliate link. So, a while back, we had tried to apply for one, and we got it, and then it got taken away immediately because I had advertised it on stream or something. Supposedly, you can go back and redo that properly now, but it was so dumb. And I remember Lethal Frag and some other Twitch streamers were talking about this. It was a pretty hot topic where they were losing their affiliate links because they advertised it, and you're like not allowed to do that. So currently, no, we do not have an affiliate link, but I was looking at getting one set up, and I guess because the one I had used personally for me was done, we'll probably sign it up through Zombie or something and just never talk about it ever so we don't get in trouble for it.
Interesting.
Anyways, because it was actually, I think 2 streams ago, I had asked people at the end of the stream about their opinions on Amazon, and a lot of people were like, yeah. So we'll be looking into that. So no, currently we do not. But we are getting into game number 1 of the Corsair Cup semifinals. This is going to be the blue Terran in the bottom right side, KeeN.
In the bottom left as the red Protoss, he's Liquid MaNa.
And to answer Time Shifter's question, why are you not allowed to advertise the affiliate link? I don't think it's that you can't advertise it. It's the way you can't say like it supports you or something. Or I can't quite recall what the fine print was. But we had ours revoked, and Lethal Frag at the same time had his, and this was all within the same month. So I was like, either someone at Amazon's going super crazy Nazi mode, or we actually just didn't read the fine print.
Maybe it's something like an affiliate is different than a sponsor, and the wording between the two is very important. And maybe like sponsor was let like slip, or you just, it's like very specifically you can't say that it helps us, like you said. Like that would be very weird, but I mean not totally unexpected. Whole like when you get into big businesses, let's say, like suddenly the legal jargon really starts to pop up.
Yeah. No, I mean, I understand, too. It's not like, oh my god, how incredibly unreasonable. This is interesting out of KeeN, by the way. We've been seeing a couple players insistent on doing this, and I'm not sold that it's worth it.
Right? Yeah, I mean, you see it everywhere. North Americans, Europeans, Koreans. I mean, most people steal from the Koreans, so.
This is like the 3 racks proxy, where we keep seeing it on stream, and it keeps fucking failing miserably on stream, but people keep insisting on doing it because it works somewhere, some way.
Yeah. I mean, I was convinced when it came to pre-on terraces because with the, the more condensed mineral line and the fact that, like you wanted to transfer all your probes immediately to it, it was denying like, a good chunk of mining. With this, you don't want to transfer your probes, no reason to, and there's actually a lot more mineral patches to mine. I think the most it really does, besides maybe glitch out 1 probe or 2, is keep everything back at home. So say for instance MaNa wanted to do his little trickery thing where he goes and puts the pylons down, right? Suddenly like the engineering bay is there for when probes are actually supposed to be mining there.
Yeah, that's true.
As you try and harass. So I guess it's actually a little bit of safety, to be honest. Like their units are there.
Yeah. Question in chat, by the way, was CPU Maniac. Yeah, he was made a new moderator yesterday, I believe it was, or the day before. I can't remember. I think it was yesterday. We did a stupid ceremony in chat for it. But we are constantly on the lookout for new mods, actually. And if you guys have ever felt that passion, or you're interested, or just curious, message Mr. Bobble, or not Mr. Boris Makarov, excuse me.
Mr. Bobble Company.
That's where I was going with it by accident. No, Mr. Boris Makarov is our head moderator, and he's in charge of all that stuff. I actually don't even get to pick our mods anymore, guys. All I can do is say, no, fuck that guy if someone's like really out of line, but that's it. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you ever feel that passion for banning. contact.
Well, you know what? It's funny because we say it a bit sarcastically, but there have been a lot of people I know specifically have sent us messages saying we'd love to help with this double chin spammer guy and like the other dumb shit we have to deal with. And I'm like, oh, these are great offers, but message Mr. Boris. Like, not me.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
All right, so MaNa hitting up with a big adept attack. This is going to be kind of cool. I love that he segmented some off to go to the natural before dropping in the main. KeeN's also gone for a drop, but I don't know. This is looking really powerful.
Oh, that Widow Mine. That was a clever place for that. So it doesn't kill Warp Prism, obviously, but it's always like, you know,
it's so low. The Marine's going to focus it.
Really has to decide the warping worth it.
And he barely got those adepts in. That warping was so clutch. Now the one in the natural gets cleaned up. The one in the main not exactly running away with the game. This was meant to be a lot more damage. Widow Mine on the other side of the map does not do much. In fact, the Observer's already out. He's going to clean this up. And both players end up holding against this harass like on each side of the field really well.
KeeN a little worse off, of course, but MaNa, like, that was a decision to keep the Warp Prism around. Unfortunately, it's only minerals, and to remake it is absolutely worth it if you're going to combo with not just more Adepts, but Dark Shrine. Like, if you're going to play a macro game, okay, maybe you want a couple more Observers, or maybe you want to start the Immortal production. It's actually, like, a kind of a big deal to bring another Warp Prism, but I think that here it's absolutely necessary. It's absolutely going to work out, too. I'm not sure if KeeN has scouted. I don't think he has. He sees Blink being chronoed. The Dark Shrine is about to be scouted. There it is, right there, just barely. If he had sieged up any sooner, you wouldn't have seen it. Okay, well, so now we should have missile turrets. There you go. Yeah,
or at least saving scans, like one, if not both. Worst feeling in the world is like when you've just muled and then you scan or scout the Dark Shrine. You're like, okay, well, this is why I'm not Grandmaster.
Yeah, right. Now, actually, to harass with DTs is still going to be viable for MaNa.
I will say that was actually one of the biggest playstyle differences I noticed when playing with you in Archon mode, was the difference in the way muling was handled. Whereas I'm a terrible player who just wants to mule every cooldown, no energy should ever be saved up ever. You would stop muling after a point because our economy would be good enough, and I'd just be like, oh, okay, cool. We have scans.
Oh, really?
This is amazing. Like, scans at 10 minutes in the game? Is this a dream?
Sometimes I forget that I used to try and be a player, and that I have some good habits.
Some, yeah.
Yeah, some. It's interesting. I hate seeing oversaturation, so it's probably why I stopped doing. Anyway, so as I said, the DT harassment can still go down, and oddly enough, like only one DT is doing a surprising amount because it almost died right off the bat.
Well, it's also kept KeeN at home, which is pretty important.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly. Like, and if they are really going to try and move out, then suddenly you do warp in like 2 more DTs and actually try and do some damage. But MaNa is really hoping this pressure, very, very light pressure, will keep KeeN off his back. He's going for a double forge, and of course is trying to get his third base nice and saturated. Third base is expected. Double forge, a little bit less so. That's where I think he's being just the tiniest bit greedier than like any other game.
Shoutouts to Damaga coming in chat, dropping that for the Horde. Marcos, Loktar. Man, I know it's like nerdy and World of Warcraft or whatever, but I'm super stoked for this, man. It's been a while since I've been really involved with WoW, so I'm really getting that nostalgic kick combined with the fact that I love that game. The movie's gonna be so bad, and I don't even give a fuck. I'm gonna enjoy every second of it.
I have faith that if you're a fan, because that's what everyone's saying, right? If you're a fan, you'll enjoy it. I still think, yeah, it's going to be terrible. Anywho, the drops coming through here. I guess KeeN actually some loads there. So drop in the third base, just a main push to the natural.
This is going to keep the Mothership Core out of position. That Robo's actually in a really bad spot for MaNa. I mean, Immortal's going to pop, but he's going to kill the actual Robo. Oh, no, he backs away. I think he would have killed it, but decides to take a fight instead. Focuses down the Sentry. No Guardian Shield for you today. Dropping that third. Did drive all the probes off, but didn't actually kill any. This was like 3 dead as MaNa did pull away. So the Nexus, it's in danger of dying, but this is better than losing 30 probes.
Yes, absolutely. That Nexus really shouldn't be taken care of. It does pull the Blink Stalkers away, though, and KeeN's gonna try and pounce on them without that protection of the Adept line or any Immortals here as well. Yeah, they actually can't deal, and I thought the Nexus wasn't gonna go down, but that was a really good maneuver from KeeN, and MaNa, well, he was out of position. He didn't have his army all together, and he lost third base.
I mean, like, the Robo objectively is not in the worst spot in the world to have been built there, but this attack really punishes MaNa for having done that. I actually, it's so much less about the third for me than it was about that robo going down, because MaNa not being able to produce things would have been massive. I mean, there's no follow up with the Immortals. There's no more Warp Prisms coming out. There's obviously no disruptors. This was such a big time buy for KeeN.
I can't even blame the double forward, you know, like, and that was the first thing that was coming to mind as he took a lot of damage. But I think it was just KeeN good, like, realizing what's actually happening, and that robo being such a important point. If it's back in the main, like, MaNa doesn't really have to worry about keeping his army close to it, but it wasn't. So has to restart from scratch. He needs an observer, too bad. Needs more immortals, too bad. Blink Stalkers have quite a job. They're gonna try and harass or just at least take off units as they come across the map.
Someone in chat getting way too serious about the World of Warcraft stuff, by the way. The only reason we think it's probably going to be bad is because of the heavy amount of marketing that goes into it, man. If you ever see any commercial for anything 2 times in a row, you know it's going to be bad.
Cool. Yeah, that seems to be... I don't know. People are complaining about Overwatch ads, so...
Overwatch ads are done very differently, I feel, though. In terms of, like, I almost want Overwatch ads. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Backing away from this, though, Stalkers are going to remove the Liberators from play, but MaNa, despite his army size, is still like a very different type of supply. There's no Immortals to break down the Marauder count. There's no Immortals to focus down that tank. There's like one single Immortal doing all the work in the world he can, blinking with those Stalkers, transferring it with the Adepts. MaNa's trying to focus down the Medivacs to try and take the best fight that he possibly can, but that supply count is just dipping hard. Terran's starting to overwhelm, and I think KeeN does have this game.
Look at that Marauder count. That is where, like, 3 Immortals, 4 Immortals would be so much better than just the one. MaNa losing that third base also affected the rest of his army. Not enough Adepts, not enough Stalkers. Sucks to have 2-2 and just nothing to really do with it, but that's where MaNa's at right now.
Well, slicing and dicing. That GT will push this back temporarily, but there's more Widow Mines. There's going to be no mining going really at the third. Wait, transferring over now. That's dangerous, because now he has to protect, not like before he at least didn't have to protect his third. Now he's protecting his third and his production, and unfortunately neither I think is really an option right now.
That voice is kind of creepy. It like
why was that I don't
know, it was like it was so deep or something that it was like a different like way of hearing it. It like chilled into my bones, man.
Okay, I'll have to try and remember how to replicate that for later then and save that in my back pocket. The Archons get focused down immediately. The Immortal gets focused down, and now it's Stalkers versus Marauders, and we all know how this game plays out every single time. MaNa, it looks like he was trying to do some counter-harass behind this, and I like the idea of that, but he's just not got anything to defend. GG gets called. Game 1 is going to go to KeeN. Okay. I think we need to have a serious talk about ads, though, instead of playing ads right now.
Oh, dear God.
I'm not even going to get ranty on this, because like this keeps being brought up in chat, so I just want to make it perfectly clear, guys. I said this earlier, and I'm going to like make this as true as I can statement, okay? So this is no bullshit. There's no, I'm not going to try and convince anyone of anything, all right? If you guys use ad block, that's fine. Like I said earlier, the internet requires a certain degree of ad block. I use ad block. I whitelist channels I enjoy watching and I want to support. And if you don't want to support BaseTradeTV, that's totally fine and within your own right as well. But to actively say, like, I'm really glad I don't support BaseTradeTV and I use ad block because fuck those guys, of course we're going to get upset about it. You're basically saying, I really hope you guys do poorly by doing this because you're literally taking money away by doing this. So this has been such a strangely, like, heated topic today, and I think a lot of it does come from the fact that we said fuck you earlier, and I still stand by saying fuck you, because if anyone wants to impede what we do, fuck you, out of my way, we're trying to do our own thing. But I don't know, I feel like there shouldn't be this debate, because it is pretty simple. You guys just do you, just don't be dicks about doing you.
Yeah, I think what also happened as we're getting ready to go into Frozen Temple Game 2. What also happens is, like, people, I guess, they're overly defensive, first of all, if they use ad block, and that happens with anything that you're the least bit guilty about. So they start saying things like, well, you guys make more money from subs and donations anyway, so, like, what does it matter? Because I'm sure other Twitch streamers have actually said that. Like, I know for a fact Twitch streamers have actually stopped playing ads in general because, like, what was the point? Like, I think Fenner, like, did an experiment with that, and he, like, posted a bunch of blogs about it and stuff, too. We actually do get money from ads, and that's our only source of money. Everything else we get goes to StarCraft 2 for you guys. So
yeah, or channel or production. Actually, I posted a graph. I'll put it on stream right now real quick. It doesn't have numbers attached to it, but for those who don't know, the blue lines, the blue bars are subscriber ad revenue. The purple bars are ad revenue, okay? So the fact is, we actually match our subscriber revenue with the ads in some of these instances and obviously not in some of the others. But the point is, like, that's how we can do this every day, basically. That's why Zagreb and I don't have to be working at a warehouse from 2 to 7 on top of coming home to stream for you guys, all right? So again,
yeah.
I really don't like talking about this a lot, and we're just going to put an end to it here and just basically ask, like, don't be dicks about it. Like, seriously, if you use Adblock, it's fine. Just don't be fucking boasting about it, because that's going to get you timed out. We don't want to read that shit. Other people don't want to read that shit. Be assholes on your own time. Don't bring it here to chat, all right? Plain and simple.
It's also a little bit just, for me, not responding to trolls in chat, but actually informing people, because I know that some Twitch streamers do it differently.
Yeah. At any rate, we continue on with the Corsair Cup semifinals, and I hope that kind of helps put an end to this weird debate that's been going on for hours now in chat. But spawning in the bottom right side, it's going to be the Red Protoss from Team Liquid, MaNa.
In the top left for Africa Freaks, it is KeeN.
Now, KeeN's up 1-0 in the series. And that was a really clean game 1 out of him. Like, there wasn't a lot of cheese. I thought for sure MaNa's Adept drop was going to hurt him a lot more than it did, but he played well in both respects, in defending and attacking.
Mm-hmm. Thanks to Kral Hansa for this 1-month resub.
Oh, 1 year! So, by the way, let's talk about part 2 really quick while the game ramps up. This 2-stock opening out of MaNa says might get a little bit interesting and saucy early on, but we currently are in a small hiatus for part 2s. Everyone who's subbed for 12 months is still going to get one, even if you unsub tomorrow and you don't actually resub for 13 months. As long as you subbed for 12 months, you will still get a part 2. Send us a message on the channel so I can send you the form to fill out and all that. But there'll probably be a 2 or 3 month gap. As you guys heard earlier on the stream, I've just got confirmation that the order's being processed. So last time we did this, it took them about a month and a half to make them / ship them out and everything, and then we could start sending them out again. So ooh. I don't have a time frame or a hard stop, but we requested more because we ran out. We straight up ran out. We gave away so many part 2s. We ran out of them, and we had to make more. So that's going to take time.
KeeN did scout that something was up, and certainly something is up. He saw 2 gateways as an opener instead of, gateway, nexus, MX core, of any variation of that. So he has a bunker. I'm just not sure he'll realize that MaNa is not just pressuring with pylons, but is actually going to do a 1-base blink stalker all in, because obviously the bunker in that position will not help very much against that. So it's going to be difficult for I think MaNa to keep him blind, especially because he didn't kill this SCV that's going off to the left right now. Well,
what's really important for this too, positionally wise out of MaNa, is this pylon's not going to reach much over here. Like, it's not about killing the bunker so much as it is about breaking the depot. The threat of this comes from usually what is adepts and not necessarily stalkers. So as this potentially goes down, oh MaNa, don't have your mothership core over there, please. As the depot goes down and the wall gets open, suddenly KeeN now has to be worried about adepts transferring through. But once more, we know it's not adepts transferring through, it's going to be blink stalkers instead.
Yeah. It's getting a little more suspicious. First of all, the SV did scout the lack of a nexus and knows it's going to be a pure all-in.
Oh, he needs this to live. That's his high ground vision. If he loses the mothership core, he doesn't have a chance to do any of this attack.
Yeah. And the amount of stalkers that are being warped in and not adepts definitely tells you a blink stalker attack as well. I assume you want to shout out this sub?
Yes, thank you to Michael Hunt for the 17-month resub. Every month I almost say it, and then I don't.
You giggled, though.
I smiled. I had lots of laughs. Mothership Core once again needs to be kept back into safety. She's the high ground vision to allow stalkers to do anything until Blink Stun. There's no way to shuffle his vision up here, so that bunker gets canceled. A Cyclone's on the way. If he can get a lock onto the mothership, this could change around pretty drastically. But I think KeeN's now aware this is no longer a game about adepts. Bunker in the front might get bust. In fact, it's getting really low. SCVs are pulled too late. Bunker breaks.
That's a natural now lifted. Now,
Blinks up to the high ground. Cyclone does a lock on top of the Stalker. Gets the Cyclone for it, though, so the Mothership Core may be safe once again. Yo, one of the other aspects to do was killing that reactor. This really cut into production for those Marines. KeeN doesn't have that much actual army to fight with.
It's actually looking pretty desperate. So MaNa doesn't even have to do any more damage after killing 10 SCVs and forcing the command center off, because he is getting his own Nexus, although oddly enough it does have to be put on the 3rd base. But he still has to keep it contained, or KeeN will start to get his production up and maybe try and counterattack.
Blink's past this on top of the tank. There's 4 Marines inside that bunker. The SCV's holding a lot of this in place, but MaNa's bleeding out a lot of these Stalkers. Keep in mind, MaNa all in with this, and behind this, because we've been so focused over here, there's an interesting dynamic of a block, but a Nexus was still taken nonetheless. So if KeeN, did he ever see that? No. So KeeN may think, okay, I'm holding on. I can lose these SCVs. He's only on 1 base behind this. That's not the case. Mothership core goes down, though. That was the high ground vision, so the next time MaNa blinks out of this base, he's not coming back.
No. But he already did so much damage. Once again, take out the tank and just leave through the ramp, it looks like. More SCVs going down as well. And losing that barracks was a lot of production. He was already on such small production to begin with.
Kid Steel, new sub hype! Thank you very much for that subscription. Still dancing around the sides of this bunker. It's going to be so frustrating. KeeN just barely doesn't have coverage for this. Another tank comes out. It's going to be focused down once again. It doesn't even get a chance to siege. These last couple Marines holding on for dear life, but I do believe this all-in has finally succeeded. GG gets called, and MaNa will take game number 2, tying it up 1-1. That being said, guys, gonna cut into some breaks so we can get these out of the way, and we'll see you for game 3 ace match when we return. All right, we're back, and we shan't dilly-dally. We'll get right into the game. It's tied up 1-1 here for the Corsair Cup semifinals. Reminding everybody that the winner of this will go on to fight against the Zerg player, Mini Razor, in that best-of-5 grand finish. Of course, if any of you guys are willing to consider checking out the Corsair Gear, all the links are available down below in the stream. You can check out their mice, headsets, whatever. If you buy anything through the site, that's cool too, but just make sure that if you do, you tell Corsair that you came from BaseTradeTV. Spawning in the bottom left side, though, he is the Blue Terran once more, a freak of freaks, KeeN.
In the top right, as the Red Protoss, he is Liquid MaNa.
Oh, and it occurs to me too, I actually still... KeeN's the only player from Ting I haven't actually contacted. I got Alive and Super's Skypes. I don't have KeeN's, so I'll have to talk to him hopefully before he disappears today about his upcoming group to make sure he knows about it. If you guys haven't seen, pretty much all of the Ting groups have been released/announced, and of course, the only exception of that being North America, as the qualifiers haven't finished yet. But on the 8th, so 2 days from now, we're going to have the Korean qualifiers, or sorry, Korean group play out.
Yeah. Well, we have like, what's that? Yeah, the NA qualifiers tomorrow, that's right. So that'll be the last qualifier, right?
Yep, then we can do all the invites and finalize them. But on the 8th, it's not going to be KeeN's group, luckily. That's Super, Armani, Alive, and No Regrets, surprisingly. And then KeeN's group is the one where KeeN plays versus SOS and Patience plays versus Sulky. But let's be honest, we're all hoping that SOS plays against Sulky.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. We have to, of course, consider their SSL and GSL. That's actually still going on. I don't know. They're oddly spaced out, but they take like 4 weeks.
I've managed to dance around and keep most of the scheduling good so far. Solar was the only one who had an issue, but we managed to resolve that. So hopefully and ideally, those groups should run smoothly. I mean, to be honest, again, I'm just happy to be working with Ting and getting all that cool content from him.
Yep.
Also, oh, that's right. I got to talk to Jesse again about the show match. The show match of show matches. Sponsor versus sponsor, guys. The representative from Yord is going to play the representative of Ting in a best of 5 or something at the end of June.
Yeah. And we're finally getting, open days again, starting 2 weeks from now.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I will say, though, it's stressful and tough casting something every single day. Not to say, like, streaming is difficult. Like, if I could just chill back, say nothing, put music on, and play a game, that'd be very different than from what we do. But juggling a lot of the players' schedules has actually made this the most frustrating. A little bit of drama about that recently, but still, nonetheless, like, I'm really glad when we can have just a couple of days off. I'm looking very much forward to that. And for me, of course, I need to go get my wisdom teeth out, so I'm really looking not forward to that.
Yeah, I feel like, okay, you're guaranteed to have some days off with your wisdom teeth, and that's great. That's, I don't mind, but we're probably going to be like, yeah, it's a perfect time. Nothing's happening at this point. Just 1 or 2 Lima leagues. And then, like, they're going to be like, hey, surprise DreamHack, and you're gonna, because that's what happens. That's what happened for the last 2 months. Was basically like, okay, well, their plan is set, and we have like a Sunday off. Yay! Nope, never mind. We got to shift everything around, and the Sunday's no longer off.
We should record those just so you guys can see how frustrating it is. Doing these like last minute reschedule of the last reschedule meetings. At any rate, KeeN is coming across the map. He's got a decent sized drop for what is TvP, nothing too crazy. See if MaNa can deflect this, because the Hellions make this a little bit more scary than just the actual Widow Mine and the Marines. In fact, going for the third right now, that could hurt a lot.
The best joke in chat. Yeah, this is far more important. Not a lot to defend at the front.
Not
no
even
pylon
a pylon.
was prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem for sure, and one that is oddly overlooked.
MaNa?
I mean, usually that's first put down.
I just feel like he got caught playing greedy is the problem. To lose a base, I mean, this is for free. And the third's going to be in the exact same situation. It's not going to get better after this. There's still the Widow Mine there as well. He can see it with the observers, so poking away at it. If he can draw some of the fire from the army towards the Stalkers, he might buy time for the Nexus to live, but I mean, this is going to be rough either way. That Mothership Core is about to go down. Oh, backs away just barely. MaNa's control's looking pretty good. Looks like he will save this Nexus. But holy frickin' schmoly if this wasn't stupid close.
Yeah, well, I mean, you did have a 1-base build versus a 3-base build. It's like, in a way, MaNa should have lost the Nexus for that.
Yeah.
But it didn't, and now KeeN is in a little bit of trouble. He was able to deny mining, and obviously the third wasn't mining yet, but now it's going to be triple pro production.
There's still no pylon, and he just brought all the Stalkers across the map to go for the aggressive attack, so pull the probes once again, an absolute necessity. Now, Stalkers warping in should be able to deal with this. This really isn't that much.
Oh, I know there's only one Hellion, but that looks so dangerous. Oh, this is the Mothership Core, definitely unnecessary.
Yeah, well, I mean, not that it was helping. There's no pylons anyway.
Right? Well, once you put on a pylon, it would help. This Blink Stalker attack is actually a little bit scary because they do have Blink. They can take on these Marines.
Yeah, there's no combat shields, and of course, the bunker's not finished yet either. Very important details. They can kite these around. God knows we watched Walmu do that on Arena for like 10 minutes straight. Losing high ground vision would suck, but that's what the Observer's for, and he can still see what he needs to shoot at the top of this hill.
Yeah. That, maybe could have gotten a few more Marine kills, but that was nice from KeeN. Now he has a bunker up, but more Stalkers are being warped, and I believe a War Prism came across the map. Yeah, it's warping in even more Stalkers. This is hitting as Stim and Combat Shields finish up, though. That's just not a lot of bio. Oh,
focus this down the Marauder. I mean, a medevac's nice, but not if you can't actually heal through what's coming. Bunker units are being pulled. SCVs are getting pulled. Medevac gets picked up for free. That was a nice quick reaction out of MaNa. A bit of a hair-trigger decision. Backs away to the cliff to get a couple more kills. And, of course, he can blink out here to the right as well. And does precisely that. 6 workers going down off of that really slow opening. Really starting to hurt him. MaNa's sitting on 44 probes. 3 bases saturated. And, of course, these Stalkers still have not entirely been cleaned up. So if KeeN tries to sneak out for a drop, he could potentially get blinked upon and caught. Gonna focus on the reactor. Stim's done. Combat Shields is done. This could be a bit of a better fight, but not by much.
Good pickup on that Marauder by KeeN, so he's trying his best. The aggression, though, if it does any damage at all, it's already, too much damage. MaNa's getting away with so much back at home. He can start warping in army back at home, too, in case things do go south, like all the Stalkers get stuck or something like that. And probably still be okay as long as he has a, somewhat decent army supply. And motherships, or a mothership with pylons, is what I meant to say. As long as he has that, too, then he could be fine. Yeah, definitely need those pylons.
I was really waiting for something like more depths. I thought he was just going to go for a big frontal army attack. But he's going to try and split the attention of KeeN. So Stalkers at the front are going to have to be quickly pulled away, or you'll lose them to the Marauder fire, as we can see. MaNa does bait the army to the low ground, which is what he wanted to do. Now the Adepts unloading the main. See if a Warpin follows this up or not.
Yeah. Looks like KeeN is just going to attack. He was chasing the Stalkers. Got probably 1 or 2 on the backside, but they are getting away, and they're going to join up with all the Warpins of MaNa on the defensive. And that should be enough. He actually catches a couple units in the middle of the map, too. This is not going very poorly at all for MaNa, and all he has to do is hold.
Oh, get those medevacs! Get those medevacs!
It's too busy.
Yeah, economically speaking, MaNa should be so much better off. I mean, +1 is on his opponent's side of the field. The income graph is bleeding red because that third base. MaNa, if he had more gateways, which he's just now putting down, he'd be able to warp in so many units. Unfortunately, right now he's really limited by cooldowns. He warps in on the other side of the map to get a couple more depths in once again, so not really getting the damage with these. The warp prisms kind of served its purpose.
Oh yeah, and it looks like it's... No, not gonna live. Soft. Well, MaNa's supply has really just gotten kind of outrageous. He's up still about 20 probes and about 10 army supply. His upgrades are the only thing that's missing. But +1, I'm not sure is going to really be making up for what is soon to be a really big production swell from MaNa. I think at this point he may have just forgotten about his forge.
Well, this is an interesting choice out of KeeN. This is something that probably won't be scouted, and MaNa will probably not have to anything to check up there for a while. But man, every time we see a secret base taken on any map, that guy loses like every time.
Yeah. Whether it was right from the get-go and they didn't take any damage, they still lose, or if it's KeeN's case where he's already losing, he's probably still going to lose with that secret base. Unless MaNa really plays like way too defensive and KeeN can actually like use the third and get the production off of it.
Yeah, if MaNa plays too passive, then that's certainly going to be a problem. We'll see if that ends up being his case, though, because his army's kind of bulked up to that point where it is almost pushing time. He's got the 1 sentry for a Guardian Shield, so many Adepts and Stalkers on top of this. And, of course, that Observer's been watching this entire time that ramp, seeing the army come and go, and there really hasn't been much coming or going.
I guess MaNa's a little afraid to push out, even though he has a much bigger army supply, because of the potential of drops. I think like, soon enough he won't really have to worry about that, though. Like, his reinforcements from all the gateways he now has would probably still be enough, and as he gets more vision on the map, you have pylons to the right side, observers in the middle, Xel'Naga's taken as well. You know, he can just probably push and win.
We see Terrans, or sorry, excuse me, we see Protoss win fights where they're behind supply by like half versus Terran, because overcharge and types of units are a big deal. However, this is a situation where MaNa is the one who has the supply lead, and that's kind of like, we're almost in bully territory. Now, again, with this third base being what it is, and SVs were transferred along the side of the map, clever, medevac, clever, this is really bad for MaNa if he sits back too long. If he thinks his opponent's still on 2 bases and he thinks he's got all this time in the world, he's wasting his advantage right now.
That is true. Ghost Command really... Odyssey so early, but...
Again, with the transfer... It's so slow, but it's so sneaky. I love it.
And KeeN is like bridging all those gaps. I mean, the fact that MaNa hasn't actually just gone way far ahead in supply is, I guess, a testament to KeeN's third base actually being saturated and his production actually like going along sort of well. Because MaNa's really only held the same lead he's had for the past 3 minutes.
Right, and his lead was that early third. So at this point now, I'm like wondering, like, okay, you got a double robo. Are you looking for a fourth? Because your money's going to run out at some point, and you're not going to be able to afford that double robo plus however many gateways this is. This is killing me to look at. He's got such a good army. But with Ghost now coming out, that's going to nullify most of the shields. That's going to take away way too much. There's no storms to match it. There's no disruptors. And MaNa has officially, I think, lost his lead.
I think so. KeeN just had a production round that's almost evened things up. I guess another charge lot warp in from MaNa. Almost charge lots, actually. Only halfway done. KeeN still doesn't have what I would expect, though. Like, the Ghosts are obviously very good. They're going to take away Guardian Shield. They're going to strip, just shields from any Protoss unit whatsoever, and that's good damage. But I would have expected Liberators, of which MaNa has Blink Stalkers without much else to deal with. If they got in a good position, they'd probably keep that good position. KeeN's really looking for a way to just get around the army and start doing damage.
Well, MaNa has very... I'll say intelligently for now, because I still don't agree with his decisions right now, but he's left a lot of units in the main, so this can't really pick up and drop to the main so easily. The army is replying by moving, but of course there's still that threat of what is possibly down south. In fact, the scan alone almost is like suspicious enough to come back. I don't know. Now it's KeeN who's got an army supply lead. KeeN's got an upgrade lead. I don't know, Zombie Grove. I just...
it's worrying. MaNa, both of them can take a good fight right now. Like, they are pretty close in army supply, although KeeN taking 20 is pretty good looking. And it is going to be up to just positioning, maybe dodging some EMPs, killing the Ghost first. Distraction with a War Prism could certainly help. If KeeN just runs in willy-nilly, he could lose the Ghost first. I think it's probably the worst thing that could happen to KeeN.
Well, scan's still going down to look for the army. This is about a third of it. But this might let MaNa just concave on it, but he's not. He's kind of very spread out, not wanting to take a fight.
Yeah, I think he was really, I mean, he wanted a concave just in general, but aware of the EMPs that go down, too. They do EMP all of the sentries, but only after I think they pop their Guardian Shield.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's Stalkers coming from the behind. They're not going to cut it for a flank. MaNa just loses everything. This was a very anticlimactic way for this to go, but MaNa now down to 43 army supply to the 100 of KeeN. There's no way. Like, there's no Disruptors, there's no Colossus, there's no Storms.
I mean, KeeN is on the 3rd or 4th base now. Of course, it's just his main lifted, but still, everything is looking up for KeeN. And that hidden base, well, that's the first thing that really worked out.
That hidden base kicked ass.
In general, being too passive from MaNa. He had multiple moments where he was up, not just 20 or 30 army supply, but like good army supply.
I almost feel like MaNa's Observer hurt him. You know, like seeing that base not being taken down there, thinking this was maybe 2 bases this entire time, really underestimating the way this game played. And that hidden base, first time in a long time we see it win a game.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if MaNa instantly jumped into replay or even just asked one of us, like, do you have a hidden base? This is too much for what was 2 bases.
It's suspicious as hell.
30 saw the main go over.
But that's gonna be it. All the army now gone, and MaNa appears to have walked away from his computer. Oh, MaNa probably feeling not so good about that, guys. Send him some love. Give him some love. We still love him, and he's still one of our favorite players. Really sad to see him go down like that, though.
Yeah. Okay, that's going to be a TVZ in the finals then, as KeeN goes up against Mini Razor. That'll be, the first map will be on Arena. I suppose we're going to get that started up. But I also think we're going to go to an ad break.
Yeah.
Away from his computer.
No, I'm here. Sorry, I'm responding to a couple of things. So yeah, we're gonna go to break. We'll get back while the grand finals ready to go. They're gonna do vetoes. This will be a slightly longer break because I have to go. Sorry, I got distracted because FedEx is at the door. I have to go pay for a package. So I'll be back in, or we'll be back in a few minutes, guys. It's not over. We got the finals coming up.